Hello and welcome back to Building Resilience. Love, learn, and lead or let go. And does my voice sound a bit different today? Yes, it does. It's because I've been sick for the past week or so with a virus, and I am recovering. I have actually, I'm feeling so much better than I have felt when I first was sick with this. And it's still, however, kind of bringing me down a bit, and my voice is still sounds stuffy, but we can do it. It's all about resilience, right? It's all about going forward, moving forward, even when you have setbacks. In fact, this past week that I have been sick, I was out of work. I was actually going to get some things done. And I was surprised with this, you know, new feeling that I have in my body of the virus, which brought me down. I was in bed the whole week and I couldn't actually do anything. It did hold me back from doing a lot of the things that I had planned on doing. However, there is no there is no holding you back when you've got resilience built in, right? So now is the time to get up and move and do the things that I wanted to do. And even though my voice sounds like this, it's it's still good. You can hear me, you can understand what I'm saying, and I have the eagerness to actually be here today and move on and move forward. I did miss our episode yesterday with the resilience room because of a meeting that went over. However, I am back and I am ready. And today we are talking about rising from rejection. It's a universal experience that we all go through at some point in time in our life. And it stings and it shakes our confidence when it's there. No one likes rejection, but it can also serve as a powerful catalyst for our growth. We could use this to help transform this rejection into a push forward to personal and professional growth. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about it using our framework: love, learn, and lead, or let go. If you've ever felt rejection in your lifetime, I want you to let me know what kind of rejection did you experience, and how did you handle it? What did you do during that time? Now, I know the feeling isn't that great when you're being rejected. Um, but I promise you, there's always great lessons to be learned. So let's start. Let's start this transformative journey together and learn about how to rise from rejection. All right. Okay. Starting with love, and please excuse the occasional cough here and there. Um, but it's a necessary companion to what I'm going through right now. And here we go. We're off. How do we rise from rejection? Always starting with love, the beginning of the framework, which is self compassion. I always remind you, as I remind myself, that we need to be kinder to ourselves, right? We need to be kind and give ourselves grace, the same kind of grace we give our friends who come asking for help, our colleagues who come to us and are, have questions or have things that they need help with. We do this for them. So why not do it for us? Right? Because rejection is felt from within, I remind you that we have to start within as well. And that's why I always start with self-compassion, with love. Rejection can lead us to question our self-worth. We sometimes get knocked down, and the first question we ask is, oh, are we really worth it? Are we actually capable? Do we have the sort of qualities that we thought we did for whatever this is that we got rejected from? And most of the time we bring ourselves down, we feel terrible about this rejection, and we don't question our skill set, we question our abilities, our inner capabilities. um, and it's crucial to remember that our value isn't determined by others perceptions. We know what kind of values we bring. I mean, sometimes you get rejected from a job because you don't meet the qualifications, or you don't have the specific criteria the job is asking for, and you immediately go to, I'm not worth it. I mean, it's just that's what they're looking for. This is the list of things that they're looking for. That's their own perception, right? There are so many times where we started jobs that we thought we were not qualified for, we ended up doing really well at. And that's because our perception and other people's perceptions aren't always accurate. So let's first start this way. Let's say you're going through this rough time and you're going through this rejection. First, acknowledge your emotions. It's natural to feel hurt after rejection. It's a human, natural feeling that we all go through. So allow yourself to experience these emotions without judgment. And bring them outside and tell yourself what it is that you're feeling. We do a lot of negative self-talk. We bring ourselves down without just thinking it. Negative self-talks happens in the form of us thinking, telling ourselves things without talking it, speaking the thoughts out loud. So instead, challenge those thoughts like, I'm not good enough, by reminding yourself of your own strengths. You may not be good enough for this job, but you're good enough for others. You may not have the right qualifications or the right criteria. However, you've got other skill set that you can use elsewhere, right? We all have strengths, and it's so essential and so important that we remind ourselves of what these strengths are. And that is the time to do it. That is the time to do it. That's when you reframe your negative self-talk to a more positive one, and remind yourself of your already existing strengths. And prioritize activities that bring you joy, relaxation, and reinforce your self-worth. We all need to re-energize. And so we forget to do that. We are so set, our mind is so set on something that we must get it, that we forget to relax. We forget to pause, take a break. And I'm here to remind you that it's okay to do that. We can pick up where, we left off after that. So list 3 personal strengths that you have. And, you might be thinking like, right now, I'm okay. I'm feeling good about myself. That's okay. That's the best time to list your strengths. Because when you're feeling down, it's not going to be that easy to think of your strengths. List them right now. Make this list, write them down. I want you to actually write them down somewhere and keep them in front of you. Maybe put them on your phone and in your notes app. That way, when you're going through a rough time, you can bring that up, and there you go. Easy reminder. List your 3 personal strengths. Or let's say you're having a very hard time thinking of your strength. Think of your past successes. What successes have you had in the past that made you proud of yourself? List those. When you're feeling down, that would be a great time to pull those strengths, those successes, and erase this self-doubt. Because you have the strength, you have what it takes. You just need a reminder of that. Next, learn. What we do when we're going through rejection, the best way to handle it is to extract growth from that rejection that we're going through. While it's very painful, it offers value. It offers great lessons that can actually push us to move forward. So first, look at this from an analytical point of view. Analyze your experience and consider what factors contributed to the rejection. Think of it as somebody else being rejected, not you. I know it's so hard to look at it when it's you. But let's think of it as, someone else has just got the rejection. I want you to analyze the situation and the experience and think about it. What led to that rejection? Was there a misalignment of goals or expectations? What is it? And list them out. Start listing these factors out. And then seek constructive feedback. When it's appropriate, ask for insight to identify these areas for improvement. So we most of the time do things on our own without asking for help. It's so it's so easy to forget to go out and find someone to ask for help, or sometimes we think it's not a good thing. We frown upon it to actually go and ask for help, but we all have our own skill set. We're all good at something unique, and I don't think there is a problem if you seek someone out who is good at a certain skill set that you can ask their feedback. Once you figure out what these factors that led to the rejection is, I think your next target is to get feedback. Ask, how can I take 1, 2, 3 and turn it into something better so that I don't get a rejection next time? 3, embrace a growth mindset. As with anything and everything, rejection is hard, but I want you to view it as evidence that you are pushing your limits. So if someone were to come and ask you, what evidence do you have? Can you show that you're pushing yourself beyond your limits for growth? You say that I just got rejected from this job. This is my evidence. What does that mean? Why are you looking at it this way? It means you may not qualify again for whatever it is that you're applying for, and you got rejected, but you are stepping way outside of your comfort zone, and that is a great thing to do. When you're looking at it differently, you don't have a growth mindset. You have this fixed mindset where I just got rejected because I don't know what I was thinking. I just couldn't do this job. I wasn't good enough. That is not a growth mindset, but instead it's a fixed mindset. What you want to do is to look at it from a growth mindset point of view and say that because I was trying to push myself so hard, I was getting outside of that comfort zone into the learning zone, into the growth zone, that I was rejected, but that is not going to stop me from trying. And that's the whole point, is that you don't stop from trying. What do you do? What action steps do you take here? Reflect on a recent rejection that you've had and identify one lesson that you have learned and apply the steps to move forward. What did you learn? There's a lot of times when, sometimes I'm thankful that I don't get accepted for everything that I ask for. I sometimes feel like that I qualify for something and I get rejected, but it's for the right reasons, right? We don't want to forget that too. We don't want to forget the faith side of things. And I am a big believer in that things are meant to be the way they are. And if some doors close, that means you don't fit there. There's better door that is just not, you haven't seen yet. And that helps me also move on. And our third part of the framework, lead. Own your story. Leadership involves navigating setbacks with resilience and using them as a growth opportunity. What I want you to do is maintain perspective. I want you to understand that rejection is part of the journey. It's not something that it ends the journey. It is not something that is an obstacle in the journey. It is part of it. It's part of your journey towards success, and it's not a reflection of your overall worth. I been through this, and I actually been through a couple of different times in my life where I was rejected, and I did feel desperate at the moment before I actually had the realization that, oh, I it's not my experience that was lacking. It wasn't that I didn't have the right credentials or the right education. It's that I had something else better waiting for me. And going through this rejection, that was an experience that I learned from. I did a lot of interviews. I met a lot of different people. I learned about the different positions that are available and their qualifications. So I gained a lot of knowledge along the way while I was going through this journey. Um, and of course, it took me reflecting back on this later on to understand that it is part of the journey. So it's not something that cuts the journey short or blocks it. It is part of the journey, and it does add to your growth. Everything you do has a lesson. Secondly, I want you to share your experiences. When you openly discuss your setbacks with other people, it really can inspire other people to foster that same viewpoint that you have, and see that as a part of the journey. And it can create a supportive environment and supportive community for others. um it helps to hear about other people's experience, what they've gone through, how they have handled it. And this is why I encourage you a lot of the time to share your experience. um Share it with others. What rejection did you go through? How did you handle it? What lessons did you learn from it? And then what success did you meet? So, and success is endless, right? You don't meet a success and then that's it, you're successful and you're done. You're never done, right? More successes along the way and more lessons along the way as well. So share your journey of setback. Share your journey of rejection with others, and tell us what did you go through, and what lessons did you learn, and then set new goals. Use this rejection as the motivation to pursue new opportunities. Now, let's say you were rejected because you didn't have a certain degree. Wouldn't that be a really good push for you to go get that degree? Or you were rejected because you lacked a certain skill set. Set a goal to go learn. Meet that new, goal of learning this new skill set so that you can be ready the next time you go. So get yourself a new set of goals using that rejection, what you've learned, that lesson you've learned, whatever skill set you're lacking, or criteria you're missing, or degree, or whatever it is. Maybe the environment isn't right. Who knows? There's so many different reasons why. Then I want you to set new goals and start pursuing those. Identify a personal story of overcoming rejection. What is your story? Share it out. Maybe share it with a mentor that you have, a peer, or maybe through a platform to inspire others. Always share your story because we can all learn together. And finally, let go. Release the need for approval. We all do this. We're all waiting for validation. Letting go involves freeing ourselves from constant pursuit of that external validation. Be enough with yourself. Be enough just being you. Go back to your list of strength, that list of successes that you have written down. That shows you that you're enough, right? Set your personal boundaries. Establish limits that protect your mental and emotional well-being. We give a lot of real estate to others' opinions a lot of times of us that we don't consider our own, right? So set these boundaries to protect your own mental health. Prioritize yourself, your own self-approval. Focus on aligning your actions with your values. Are your act what First of all, identify your values. What are your core values that you go by? And then work on making sure your actions, whatever you're doing, is in alignment with your values, instead of trying to look at what others are seeing or whether they approve or not. And embrace authenticity. Being you, authentically and truly you. That attracts opportunities and relationships that are that could truly resonate with you, as opposed to trying to be someone that you're not. And that kind of this people who are attracted to other authentic individuals, that relationship lasts a lot longer, because you're just being you. You're not pretending to be someone that you're not, right? So set those boundaries. Prioritize your own self-approval by making sure that your values, identify what those are, and making sure your actions are in alignment with them. And embrace authenticity. Practice saying no to requests that don't align with your priorities. You don't have to say yes to everything to please others or to be liked. It's about you and your self-worth. And yes, you can, if it's within your capabilities and you have the time for that, absolutely. But if you don't, say no. You don't have to accept everything. And just observe how it impacts your sense of autonomy, because it's your focus should be on your growth and service. And we talked last week about, if you don't have enough in your cup, you can't really serve others. So make sure that before you're thinking of serving others, that you have enough. And this is why I encourage you to say no when it's out of its ordinary ask. Rejection is not an end point, and it's not the end of a journey. It's a redirection towards a different path, maybe something that has a different purpose for you. And I want you to keep that growth mindset so that you can think of rejection in those different ways. We're not made one way and that's it. We're always open to learning and growth and development. And this is how we develop and learn and grow, by actually being redirected. And rejection can serve as that redirection. And I want you to think of it this way. So practice love, learning, and leading from your experiences, or letting go, and share your experience with others so we all can grow together. And I want you to always think of everything that happens to you as a stepping stone to another opportunity, to a new opportunity, stepping out of your comfort zone and learning something new. Before you go, share a time when you turned rejection into a positive outcome. When did you turn rejection into a positive outcome? Stay connected for more insights on resilience and leadership. Follow Lead with Imkan on YouTube and other social media, and stay connected with me and share your experiences and your lessons that you have learned with other people, because as a community we stay stronger and we learn better together. Next episode, I talk about boundaries that build. If you're overwhelmed by constant demands, we talk about how to set boundaries in a positive manner and to help protect you, yourself, and help you serve better, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve each other and to help each other out, and we do it best by taking care of ourselves. Until next time, I'm Nagam Al Samari. I will see you on the 2nd of March. Bye.